You were talking about a little earlier about our tendency of helping a guy or a woman bleeding on the streets, but the tendency of not have the same urge to help a person that was behaving badly. If we were about to do, if we would help the guy that were behaving badly, how would we go about to do that?
Well, when someone is behaving badly, like picking a fight, most human response is to fight back. So if you made that comparison exact, then if someone's on the street bleeding, you just poke another hole in them. You see what we're getting at? But you don't really want to poke another hole in them. You usually want to help patch them up. But when someone is spewing their negativity, often your response is to call them out on it or to condemn them. It's like the manifestation. If it manifests, sometimes it elicits your help. But wouldn't it be nice if you could help maintain the emotional balance earlier? In other words, if someone is hating, and they're all over the airwaves with their hate. They're hating as much as they can. They're presenting it as many ways as they can. They're making it as loud as they can and spreading as far as they can. What we're suggesting is that you might love them anyway. Because if you don't, if you hate them back, you're picking a fight with yourself. Even though, that feels so irrational to the human mind, doesn't it? Because when they behave that way, they sort of deserve getting more of it. It's hard not to hate someone back, especially if you feel threatened by whatever it is that they're doing. Tell us what you're thinking. It's a good conversation.
I was thinking that their momentum may be very, very strong, because they have been thinking those negative thoughts
a long time.
A long time, yeah. Of course, the way to go around it, I know, is of course not to stand in the way of them, because it's like a huge train going very, very fast.
The first thing that happens when you decide that you're not going to push against them is that you begin the process of slowing your train. And then as you slow that train and actually find ways to focus on other things so that you just aren't there, that's not the vibrational vicinity of you. You're not on that resentful or revengeful, hateful, fearful part on the emotional scale. Instead, you are feeling satisfied and eager and love and appreciation. And so you're not mutual to them. So the first thing that happens is you don't rendezvous with them. You don't meet the belligerent ones. In fact, you don't even find them in the other places. You're zigging while they're zagging, because the law of attraction doesn't put you together. And that's really your only way of knowing what your point of attraction is. And so the reason that we've offered that analogy for so many years is because you want to be helpful. It is your true nature, unless someone feels like that they're after you in some way. And we want to get to this very important point. Whenever you feel negative emotion, we're just going to stay here for a minute and really get this to you in a way that you can really feel it. When you feel negative emotion, no matter how much of us or anyone else you've been listening to, that negative emotion feels really, really, really off. At every level of your being, there is an awareness that something is out of whack here. Negative emotion just feels off. And when you feel it, if you understood that you could do something about it without somebody else needing to be different, then they wouldn't threaten you. In other words, what we are submitting here is that people, in their disconnection from source energy, as you rendezvous with them because of the attention that you've been giving, as it therefore causes you to disconnect, that's really too strong a word, but to pinch off your alignment with your own source energy, that is the biggest feeling of threat or vulnerability or fear to you. But you're misunderstanding what the emotion is. It isn't about them. It's about your relationship with your inner being. And so once you get that in alignment and you are able to do something about your relationship with your inner being, then they don't threaten you. And when they don't threaten you, you don't push against them. And when you don't push against them, you give it less airtime. And as you give it less airtime, then you are not part of the creation of that. And when more and more of you are not part of the creation of that, then more and more of you are living happily ever after. In other words, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. We know that this feels a little contradictory as we really have been reaching for the understanding about being more comparative and aware of your own emotion in relationship to your vibration of your inner being. And it sounds like we're asking you to not try to fix the world because it isn't broken and not need the world to be fixed in order to feel better. But one thing does perpetuate the other. There's a bigger flaw in the approach that humans make that we can articulate here. Most people do not understand that everybody doesn't have to figure it out in order for your world to be wonderful. There are enough of you who can find alignment, and the cooperative components of those who have found alignment are numerous enough that those who find it really could live happily ever after. But of course, the more who are feeling it, the better it is. We know that you want those around you to feel good, but your feeling good can't be dependent on what they do because you can't change their trending, not easily. You know that for yourself. How much time have you spent with us and others doing your best to change your mood, to change your point of attraction, to change your trending? In other words, it takes some practice because you've been practicing it without knowing that you're practicing it. So the fundamentals that we really want you to understand is that law of attraction is a real thing and it's responding to you all the time. And if you're paying attention to its response, then it's not getting very far from what feels good to you. But if you're not paying attention, it can get very far from you. And then what happens with humans so much is that they don't take the responsibility upon themselves. They assign it to others. You need to be better so that I can feel better. Parents say it to their children. You're driving me crazy. Teachers say it to their students. You're the reason I don't want to come to work. And the student says, I'm happy here. I know I'm disobedient, but my inner being made me do it. I'm just following my bliss.
So what you're saying is if you change the energy within you, you will not be able to rendezvous with the people.
It's always mutual. You get what you think about whether you want it or not. So as we've been talking about the whole world that is your palette that you can paint from or your buffet that you can eat from, every person is like that buffet. Every person who may be your point of focus has things that you could focus upon and line up with your inner being and things that you could focus upon and depart from your inner being. And so once you understand that and you make it be your job how you feel instead of somebody else's job, now you're truly free. You're free of resistance. You're free of being blindsided. In other words, there's nothing wrong with negative emotion as long as you know that it's self-inflicted. There's nothing wrong with creating something that you don't want as long as you know that you did it. But as long as you're assigning it to somebody else, then you're powerless. You see.
Without saying it's your fault, it's my own fault, because that is a negative way of approaching it.
We want you to accept that it's your point of attraction, but not in a blameful way. This is how I figure things out. This is how I know what I do want. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Now I want something that's different. Life is causing you to constantly evolve. It's an interesting thing because you were born ravenous to expand and evolve. And yet, as you are here, you think you want the comfort of sameness. But the comfort of sameness just makes you crazy because the other part of you, the non-physical part of you, is calling you into the newness that life has exposed you to, you see. Did we get to the nut you were reaching for there?
I think so, yeah.
Enough?
I think so.